Today on Shredding Spree, MTB CRIBS. Every now and again when me and the boys get together, we usually end the night in one of our garages. And I honestly think that's the most interesting part of anyone's house as someone who spends so much time in the garage myself. So I thought it'd be fun to start this series called MTB CRIBS, where we take tours of the mountain biker's garage. And what better way to kick off a series about mountain bike garages than to start with the Shredding Spree Shredquarters. Over the last couple years, my garage has been a real point of pride for me, and it's because I redid it all myself, with a little bit of help from some pros. I redid all the electric, insulation and drywall, paint, and epoxy floor. Put in all new cabinets, and it's turned into what it is today. So let me pull my Jeep out, come inside, and let me show you my MTB crib. So for the overall aesthetic of the garage, I really wanted to make it feel like an open, big studio. So I made sure to put the drywall up above the rafters, which was a huge pain in the ass. The only reason why I'm able to keep it open with all these fans and all this is because I store all my actual garage stuff like holiday decorations, kids' sports equipment, all that kind of stuff in a shipping container in the back of the property. What I did with the lights is something I'm kind of proud of. I just went on Amazon and I got these LED light tubes and I just put them along the top rafters. I'll put a link to those lights in the description of the video. I think someone's gonna ask me where I got them. I know you're always used to looking at this side of the garage. Today on Shredding Spree, today on Shredding Spree, today on Shredding Spree. I think it'll be kind of fun to take a little bit of a closer look and show you how I keep my gear and sort of the day-to-day workings of the space. So starting from this side over here, this is a safe where I keep most of my Pogs and Pokemon cards.
Really?
I got a couple of number plates from some mountain bike races and a few medals from the SoCal Enduro series. This whole set of cabinets, including the workbench, it comes as a set from a company called New Age. I got them from Costco. So starting from this first cabinet, this is actually where I keep all my mountain bike gear. Whenever I'm going out for a ride, I usually just have to grab stuff off of the top shelf. I have my helmet and my gloves stored up there, a pair of glasses that I'm using, and I keep my shoes in this box here. It definitely smells like a gear cabinet. I try to leave the doors open a little bit. I also try to let my gear dry out before I put it away. There isn't really a specific reason why I keep the shoes in the box like this. I just think it helps it look a little more organized. I feel like I'm always on the brink of being super organized, but never quite there. So second shelf down, I've got a basket here that has GoPro, camera equipment, batteries, chargers, hip packs, basically things that I would need if I'm shooting or if I'm gonna be out for a longer ride. Got my full face helmet and my knee pads here. This is a helmet bag. Next shelf down is the pile of family helmets. You know, it's just nice for things to have a place. So even if it looks a little jumbled up, at least they're still safe in the cabinet and not sitting in the driveway. Down here at the bottom, I got backpacks. This is one that I will bring out on rides with me. It's my old hydration pack, and I've actually got a pretty cool setup in here. This is a really handy tool to have. It's by a company called Trail Boss. It's really nice because it breaks down and will fit into a standard sized hydration pack. So if you have a little bit of a pedal to do before you get to the area that you're gonna be maintaining, you can just wear it on your back and it's safe and lightweight. All the way back in here. Oh,
some external pockets.
Dude, I thought I lost this. Just found a windbreaker I lost months ago. Yeah!
That's better than finding 20 bucks in your pocket.
I know, well, hey, let me check the pockets. No 20 bucks. Looks like it needs a little bit of a tumble. I put this little guy up on top of the outside of the door of the cabinet so that when I come back from a ride, if I want to try to keep my workbench clear, I've got a handy spot to hang the helmet while it dries. Doesn't work very well. Do this right. It's a little sketchy too because this is like a $250 helmet. I don't want to hang in that like that. But it was the thought that counts. All right, so that's it for the gear cabinet. This next cabinet is just kind of a catch-all for the basic garage stuff. This is a fun little tool to have for a mountain biker if you're ever disassembling a cassette or you know, a stem or whatever. This is an ultrasonic cleaner. You fill the top of it up with some water and it heats the water. You put your parts in this basket and it does, like, it sends ultrasonic waves through the water and will clean your stuff, make it look brand new. That comes out every once in a while. It's more cleaning than I tend to do on my bike parts. I can't shut the cabinet without highlighting this box. It's a whole box full of Shredding Spree mud guards. What's up? Yeah, no, there's no link, no link. Just DM if you want one. I keep my bike stand up on top of this cabinet. This is sort of one of those things I bought the cheap one. It's by Bike Hand and it works just well enough for me to keep it. It's sort of like on the future upgrade list, but for now, I'm just gonna keep using it because it holds the bikes kind of well. When I started the renovation on the garage, this was just a small window and I replaced it with this door. And that's handy because I keep my air compressor out here. So if I'm doing something inside that requires the air compressor, I just bring the hose inside the garage and do whatever I'm doing. This air compressor is pretty big and loud, and so when it's running outside, I can just shut the door and I don't have to listen to it. So moving over to the workbench now, I really wanted to have the slat wall with the tool storage on the back. So I didn't leave myself a ton of room to be super organized about it, but I did the best I could. I've been using it like this for about a year or so, and honestly, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm going to thin it out a little bit more and just keep the stuff that I use most often. Up on top of this cabinet, this is where I have some spare parts stored, things that I've acquired. If a friend's selling something used and I don't have a need for it yet, but I know I'll need it eventually, I'll usually pick it up. Here's a fun little thing. This is 1997 ABA State Championship qualifier. I remember I got block passed in the last turn and I cried because I wanted to win. But you know, 11-year-old stuff. So I'm not going to go through what's in each of these cabinets because I don't think any of it's very riveting. Mildly mountain bike specific, but basically just keep cleaning rags, chemicals, fasteners. These are my two tool chests. They actually roll out from underneath the workbench. I almost never do this, so it's probably full of dirt. If I was rebuilding a 67 Camaro and I needed my whole tool chest next to me, I can just roll it out. But that's never going to happen, so we'll just put this right back in here. Oh, got it that time. So overall, I think this workbench works pretty well for what I need it for. It is a little bit shallow if you're somebody that's in here tinkering on a lot of stuff all the time, but the majority of the time when I'm working on something for a bike, it's on the bike. So most of my work actually happens on the work stand. If I were to redo it, I might get another 6 inches. Coming over this direction next, we got the co-stars of Shredding Spree. This is all my bikes. I like to store them on the wall like this because they're up and out of the way and they'll never fall over. First one we got here, this is my Specialized Stump Jumper Evo. This bike is well documented. I upgraded to a 200mm dropper. I've got the mullet bird wheel set, and I just started running handguards on all my bikes because every spring my hands get beat up from all the thistle that grows around here. So I'm a handguard guy now. So that's the first bike. Next we got the custom Dolly Eponym. This is my steel hardtail. I've done a build video about this. If you've been following the channel, you definitely saw it. And it's got the bird wheels on it, RockShox Lyric fork, custom Geo Dolly Eponym frame, 1-up carbon bars, and yeah, I'm running the handguards on this one too. This is my newest tool addition to the garage. I actually went all out and went for the digital gauge bike pump because I was tired of using a hand gauge to double check my pressures when I was filling up before a ride. It's a little funny to be an avid mountain biker for over 10 years and the pump that I just got rid of was a hand-me-down that barely worked for the last 5 years. So finally upgraded that. Third bike in the row, this is my wife's bike. This is a Cannondale Habit, 27.5, extra small. Feels like a baby bike to me. It's pretty tiny. We bought this one used from a guy in town and she's ridden it a handful of times and has a little bit of fun on it. I got these on Amazon. These are called Steady Rack. Not the least expensive set of bike racks you can get. I'm super happy with the quality of these things. They're really nice. It's really easy to just toss your bike up on the wall when you come back from a ride. I'll put a link in the description. If you're someone like me that has a couple of kids, I've had a few of my bikes in the past get knocked over in the garage, and that's actually the most damage they ever got. So it's nice to have a storage system like this where it's basically impossible for them to fall over. Moving on next, this is actually my main toolbox. This box has all of my bike specific tools in it, and it's just from Harbor Freight. It's nice because it has this little pad on it, and I can work out of the drawers. I have all the tools that I need for the bike right here. Zip ties, bottom bracket tools, chain whip, center lock wrench, all that stuff. Even got a shelf for my chain lube and my sealant. So this is the toolbox I use most often. This thing's nice to have just because if I take a mountain riding trip or something, I can just pick that up and throw it in the van, and then I have everything I would need to work on the bike. This is my squat rack. It's a little bit more of a bike rack. You can see all of my weights and stuff are pretty dusty. And by looking at me, you can probably tell I definitely haven't been lifting. This is our newest bike at Shredding Spree. This is my youngest son's Spawn. It's a 20-inch Yama Jamma. And I'm super impressed with this bike. We'll have to do a review on this at some point. But I'm super happy with the quality of this bike. It's been awesome. It's spec'd really nice. And the kids are loving it. So this is the last bike we've got in the garage. This is my oldest son's 20-inch Commensal Meta HT. This has been a good bike. There's been a few little funny things that have happened to it, but overall, he loves riding it. It's still, he's getting a little bit big for it, so we'll have to upgrade him pretty soon, but it's still working for the time being. So I already talked about my dusty weights over there. Here's my dusty rower. I've been actually thinking about using this again, which is kind of the first step of actually using it again. We're on our way here. This thing will get the dust blown off of it soon. I've got a stack of hockey sticks over here. I coach both of my kids' hockey teams. That takes us to this big wooden guy in the corner. This is Mrs. Spree's sauna. Is this awkward? More than you bargained for, huh? A definite must for every garage. This is an infrared sauna. It's from a company called Healthmate. This is a clinical grade sauna. It goes up to about 170 degrees, and it's got the color changing lights inside. She's in that thing about 5 days a week. And that kind of takes us to the end of the tour. We've just got a washer and dryer, detergents, beer, and a sink. And that's it. That's my MTB crib. So that's it for the tour of my MTB crib. If you have a mountain bike related garage that you think the public needs to see, send me an email or comment below or DM me on Instagram, because I would love to feature your garage on the next episode of MTB Cribs. Thanks for watching.